So, when you're in the wine business for as long as Kyle and I have been in the wine business, I mean, we're dinosaurs, We remember things that most people don't, and so, but the one thing that we do every day is get up with excitement, because the wine business is, how do I want to say? It's like there's something new every day. It's not like going to work and doing the same thing over and over and over again, seeing the same people, blah blah blah. In our business, it's exciting, because we wake up to 150 offers from Europe, and you kind of go through the offers, and you're like, no, oh, that looks interesting, but it's kind of like it kind of fires you up, And I know, like, sometimes I don't even get out of bed and I'm reading emails, because, before it was daylight savings, it was like dark at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I just felt like it seems weird getting up when it's dark outside, but obviously I do it if I have to. That being said, this wine today is a wine that, when you look at like all the information about the wine, you think, what? Really? I mean, when I go to Bordeaux, in the plane, and I'm flying into Marignac Airport, and I fly over the Garonne, I see all these little islands in the Garonne estuary, right? Now, never did I think wine would be produced in one of those islands, and there is an island that produces wine. The Little de Margaux, it is a small island just off the banks of Margaux, and it's about 100 yards. So it's not like super far. I mean, it's not like, swimming the English Channel. You could probably, swim to it. And maybe in low tide, you could probably walk there, because the tides in the Atlantic, in that part of the world, can go 12, 14 feet, so. But anyway, so this is a wine that we've offered in the past, and I'm sure many of you have experienced it. We did the 2000, we did 2001. This is from the 2005 vintage. And so what's kind of interesting about this is that this island has been there for a while, but what's really cool about this specific place or island, it's not in the Margaux appellation, even though it's called the Little de Margaux, but it has its own little microclimate, because it's surrounded by water. And what that does is it protects it from frost, so they don't get the frost. So a lot of the vines are old on the island. It's an interesting blend too, because it's equal parts Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Petit Verdot, and a little bit of Cabernet Franc. And we're talking 40-year-old vines. And the terroir there, because of where they are on the island, it's a gravel bed on the top layer, and then blue clay below. So in parts of the island where they don't have the blue clay, that's where you have the Cabernet Sauvignon. And then on other parts of the island where they have the blue clay, that's where the Merlot is. 18 months in new French oak barrels. Everything's done by hand. Just really unique. And then you on top of that, the 2005 vintage, a warm vintage, a sunny vintage, a great vintage, an easy vintage, and wines that are very long lasting. I mean, some of the 05s are just starting to come around right now. So let's check this one out. So we have a negociant that we deal with, and for some reason they got it in on this. I mean, this is ex-chateau. So this has been sitting in these, cellars on the island, perfectly surrounded by the cool waters of the Garonne. So, you don't really have, the microclimate there is good for aging. And look at the cork. Perfect. 20 years old, or just about. Boy, that's good. Neil Martin did an article about this, and actually that's what kind of sprung our attention. You know, he wrote a really fun article about the island, and so we were, you know, Kyle and I was like, let's like dig into this a little bit, and sure enough, we found somebody who had it, and now, for whatever reason, he has like the monopoly on it. I just opened this wine. It is very 2005. And if those of you who have tasted recent vintages of 2005 know exactly what I'm talking about. The wine's firm. The texture, it's there. This wine will age another 20 years. You know, you get a little bit of the cedar tobacco mushroom, but you get a lot of black currant fruit in the middle. And I bet probably by the time we close the store tonight and the rest of the crew comes back here and drinks it, this thing will be gone in a nanosecond, and it'll be really starting to blossom. I would say even at 20 years old, you could probably throw this in a decanter for an hour. You know, it's that tight and has that much structure, which is really exciting. But here's the great part. $34.98. $34.98 for a wine that comes from an island off Margaux, hand-picked, 18 months in brand new French oak barrels, been sitting at the winery for what, 17 years? Because obviously, you know, well, whenever they put it in bottle, afterwards got it a barrel, so 18 months, 2005, yeah, maybe 17 years. Came over on a refrigerated container, landed on our shores, and is here in our store, and it's $35. That's crazy. Just absolutely crazy. The wine's great. Thanksgiving coming, I don't know. These kind of older Bordeaux's is perfect, you know, because they don't have this, you know, they're not overloaded with fruit. They have so much complexity and so many things going on that with turkey, it sounds good. I mean, I might do it. Anyway, thank you so much for being such great customers. We appreciate you, and have a great weekend.